On the morning of December 17th, 1967, tragedy struck Australia.
It is feared that the Prime Minister has drowned. A great search is being made for Mr. Holt off Portsea, Victoria. However, no official announcement has been made as to the fate of the Prime Minister.
The Australian Prime Minister, Harold Holt, will go for his regular swim near Portsea, Victoria, only to never be seen again. Within the hour of his disappearance, news spread throughout the media in an instant, causing the biggest search party in Australian history. Since this day, various stories, theories and speculations have spread in the media, but what really happened on that day in 1967? The version that is considered to be true and what was reported at the time of the disappearance was that Holt had drowned. Prior to his disappearance, Holt was always seen as an outdoorsman and a person who loved to swim. He owned 2 beach houses in Portsea, Victoria, so it was a common swimming spot for him. In 1954, Holt was introduced to spearfishing and it quickly became a hobby for him. When he wasn't working, his friends believed he was always in the water. On the day of his disappearance, he was accompanied by Marjorie Gillespie, her daughter Vina, and his family friends Martin Simpson and Alan Stewart. Most of them deemed the water unsafe due to large swell and visible currents.
Shouted to him, "Come back, come back." But of course it was stupid. It was too late then.
Despite the others' observations, Holt and Stewart didn't hesitate and ran straight into the water. Stewart stayed close to the shore as he felt a very strong undertow, but Holt kept going deeper in the water. The others began yelling for him to come back until he slipped under a wave and was never seen again.
It seemed to boil up as it does at the turn of the tide. And it just engulfed him. And I couldn't see him anymore. I couldn't see his head. He was gone.
The people that accompanied him all believed that the water was quite unsafe to swim in. This was due to the large swell, strong undertow, and visible currents. Although he could tread water for a long time, he was not a strong surface swimmer. This led to the conclusion that Harold Holt had drowned. Another story that has since been reported is that Harold Holt had committed suicide. Supporters believe that prior to his disappearance, Holt was both mentally unstable and depressed due to his political career failing, causing Holt to commit suicide. Although this was a popular theory, the police ruled it out because Holt had followed an ordinary domestic pattern in the days before his disappearance. The story about what actually happened to Harold Holt became a huge debate. While a majority of people believe that Harold Holt had drowned, there are still others who believe otherwise. This goes to show that the media control what we believe in. Back then, there weren't many sources of news other than newspaper and television. When something was reported then, the audience was convinced straight away, without a second thought. Nowadays, due to social media and technology, fake news is much more prevalent due to the large majority of people who have access to these reports.